is going on, guys? I hope you guys are excited. We're back here with Jordan from Modular Head Shop, and we're going to be going over the 2-valve build you probably saw in the thumbnail and title. We are going Teksid aluminum block, and Jordan's going to fill us in on exactly what we are doing on this. And we're going to be doing a build series very similar to the GT500. We're going to be CNC porting the heads, assembly, block prep. Oh, what else are we doing? Everything. So we're going to point the camera at Jordan, and he's going to fill us in on exactly what we are doing on this 2-valve build.
Hey everybody, what's going on? So at the heart of this 2-valve build is going to be a Teksid block. Andrew picked up a Teksid block from our good buddy Jason Hager. It's already been machined, so we do need to finish prepping it as far as deburring everything and painting it. You know, we don't really put, this is the dirtiest engine that's ever been in this assembly room, and this is just for the video. So we'll go over block prep and everything in another video, just like we did for the GT500. I did shoot my own tech video today on drilling the coolant port, so that's something I needed to do, and so we decided to use this block. This is the coolant port that you will need to add if you want to put a 2-valve head on a Teksid block.
So Jordan has a video on that. I'm going to put a link right up there. It's on his channel. You can go check that out. And yeah, I mean, that's good info. I mean, if you want to put a 2-valve head on a Teksid block, that's what you need to do. And it was really simple too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, super simple. You don't have to worry about sizing. It can be a little bit undersized, as I show in the video. So it's very, very easy to do. You know, comment if you have any questions there. That is really the only modification you need to do to the block if you're going to run a 2-valve head. What we're going to do for Andrew's build on the cylinder head side is a prototype. It's something I've been wanting to do. I was actually going to do this head for Jason's Drag Week idea, but I think he's going Coyote now. So this is nothing new. I'm just going to put my spin on it. But if you look at the 2-valve chamber, and this is just a head that's already been ported. It's just one I ported to play around with. All right. The 2-valve PI has some piston to valve issues on the intake valve, and that's from various different reasons. One of them, though, is that the intake seat sits a lot closer to the deck than the exhaust seat. The difference is around 60 thousandths. So what I will do is weld this seat out, cut the pocket for a larger seat so I can put a 1/840 valve from the SVO, which is a non-PI based head. That seat pocket will sit 60 thousandths deeper. It will also help with the short side. This head has a really bad short side because the valve is angled on the wrong way, really. So by increasing the valve diameter, I don't prefer to do it that way, but in this case, I feel like it will help the short side, and that will also help me make a chamber program that will fit this better. Chamber program will consist of matching the swirl dam to my top cut, smoothing this out, taking that, smoothing that out, and that's about it. We're not going to touch much on the spark plug boss. If you look at any CNC heads that have serious spark plug boss work done to them, they all have problems with detonation. So I've kind of seen where others fail, and so I'll put my own spin on it, see how it works, and then we'll do my quench relief here. So there'll be a small lip here, probably 30 thousandths on the quench pad as well. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen me doing that on a lot of the trick flow heads. It's been very successful. Take some of the quench out. Chamber size is going to go from about a 42 cc to 48 to 50. We won't know until we get there. So moving on, that brings me to piston size. We're going to go with the Wiseco 20 over. -6 cc dish. This is actually a 16 cc dish, so not the exact same piston, I'm just showing you. But I've had very good success running the Wiseco pistons with the K1 H-beam connecting rods. I'll talk about both their features right now. Probably one of the more popular cars running this combo is Brian Crane, 03 Cobra. Brian finally went 8s this year with a 6-speed.
Yep, stick shift Cobra. Yep. We'll drop a video in there right there.
Yes!
So I've done a few rebuilds on that. Reused the rods and pistons every time, just changed the rings. And this last go around, he even broke an iron block, and I reused the entire rotating assembly besides bearings and piston rings. So I have this kit on my site. It's definitely the best selling rod and piston combo. It's the one I push the most. It's also the same rod and piston combo I've used in, hundreds of short bops I've done in the last 5 or 6 years. So we're also using 200 wall tool steel pins. That's going to keep the pin bore happy and the rod bushings happy. A little bit about the pistons. They will have valve release for the 2-valve PI head. They have a 300 down top ring land. They do have a pressure balance groove and anti-deck grooves. I'm not a fan of that, but it doesn't matter. This is a shelf part. But you can see that the pin bore is as high up as it can be without having to run an oil support rail. And that's due to space the rings out, and that's what makes this piston so strong. I've literally used these pistons on 1500 horsepower engines with zero problem. And you can get a shelf piston that will hold that kind of power. Why not use it? You break something, call them up, boom, have a replacement. You don't have to go through all the custom stuff. It is a strutted forging. You can tell it has really thick struts and a very thick skirt. So the other style, like a Manley piston, would be a full round where the skirt would come all the way around. But this is a little bit more lightweight design. And like I said, I've used this for years with great success. It uses a 1.5 3mm ring stack. The rings are Weisco rings. Top ring is a gas nitrided steel ring. The second ring is a cast iron Napier cut ring. What the Napier cut does is kind of make the second ring act like a squeegee, so any excess oil that gets past the oil ring, it's just going to squeegee it on down the cylinder. We're going to couple this with the Manley crank. That's what I've used on all my 1000+ horsepower cars. And King bearings, that's the only bearings that will work with the Manley crank. Other than that, we have a few little things to work out, but it's pretty much the basic stuff. ARP head studs, ARP main studs. We use Cometic gaskets. We'll probably put my copper O-ring deal in the heads. And then we're using my stage 5 turbo cams that Andrew also bought from Jason. So I've had very good luck with those and trick flow headed combos. And now it's time to show everybody that PI heads can make some serious power.
Yeah, and obviously we're doing like valve springs, retainers.
Correct. Yeah, we'll use my stage 3 valve spring kit, which is a Pack RPM series spring with our 4130 chromoly retainers. We do have a titanium option, but money doesn't grow on trees for any of us, so chromoly is fine. These springs are pretty small at the top. It's beehive design. That's all you're going to need. Throwing 40 pounds of boost at these springs, no problem at all. And then the valves will be a Manley stainless steel intake and exhaust, 1mm over PI exhaust valve, and like I said earlier, the SVO non-PI intake valve. I'm going to machine the head to make that work. I'll dress the valves how I like to do so, and we use the single groove version of those valves, which uses a single radial lock that you must buy from Manley or another supplier that would fit the Manley valve. So that's what I use in all my competition engines. I've never had a problem, never had a keeper fail, never had a Pack RPM series spring fail. So that's what we'll be using. Pretty excited about the combo, something I've been wanting to do for a long time.
Yeah, and obviously we're going to be doing a new turbo kit, and power wise will obviously depend on the turbo kit and how everything is working, but we're expecting to see somewhere around 800,000 wheel horsepower. We might start off a little bit soft, because we don't need a ton of power to go fast with this car.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of things ourselves too.
Yeah, and I haven't talked about the trans yet, so you guys will have to wait to find out what we're doing for a trans, but I think it's going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, pretty much we're trying to make an animal.
Yeah.
An animal that can be easily copied with readily available parts. If the cylinder head package with the different valves is a success, I'll gladly add it to the website. But I don't like being under pressure for prototype stuff, and so that's why I've never even offered this to anybody before. Me and Andrew are going to film this, and we'll show you how I'm going to modify the head a little bit. I'm not going to give away all the secrets, but yeah, I'm getting excited.
Oh yeah, and obviously we lose a little bit of weight too with the aluminum block. So
Yep.
the aluminum block has its advantages. What else do you see as advantages with the aluminum block over an iron block?
Weight savings, a little bit better cooling, definitely better main cab support. I'm not a huge fan of the Teksid. I know, a lot of people are like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? I'll show y'all real quick, actually. So, the Teksid has non-press fit caps, so it has the little jack screws that you need to adjust here. I'm not a huge fan of that. The biggest problem is the actual main webbing in the saddle area. So here looks pretty good, but if you look down underneath here, look. There is 3 fingers worth of gap on each side. And that is where you will see this block fail eventually. Power level could be 1500, could be 2500, but that's where I've seen them fail. I prefer the 3-valve aluminum block main webbing design, but there's arguments to go both ways. Really and truly, if you're trying to make 1500 horsepower, I would say you can make the block, either block live for a long time if it's prepared right, and obviously if the tune-up is good.
Yeah. Right now we're not targeting huge power. We're really trying to make the car go fast down track.
Yeah.
So the horsepower number, it matters, but it doesn't really matter because we also have boost controller, get a solid tune on the car, and we want to go fast with this car.
Yeah, we want to go fast. We want minimal maintenance, and it doesn't need to be anything extravagant. It needs to be something that people can copy, like I said before. I want to go like 300 to 500 passes without having to do a teardown.
Yeah, and I want to go like 850s.
Yeah, pretty much an 850 bracket car without leaning on it.
Yep.
It should be very, very easy with the combo that we're going to put together. So we'll see. I'm not really trying to hit any extra or any certain power numbers. I just want to put together a good, reliable combo that works good. I'm excited as hell about the turbo kit. There's nothing on the market that impresses me right now as far as 2-valve stuff goes. So I think there's a lot of power to be made just in turbo kit design, and especially boost control. I see wastegates in the wrong spots all the time, wastegates improperly plumbed, less than par parts being used. So there's a lot of things that we're going to do differently than the status quo. That's what's going to make it interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I mean, the car's already been fast for 420 horsepower, so we start adding, I don't know, 400 horsepower or so to it. It should really boogie.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, make sure you slap the like button down below. Go subscribe to Jordan's channel because he's going to be doing a lot of different tech tips, and we're obviously going to be covering the build on this 2-valve series, going from a high 10 car to a mid 8-second car
That you can drive on the street.
That's it. So we'll see you guys in the next one.